According to Jean Alesi, Fred Vasseur is managing a Ferrari in Formula One, where incompetence reigns. This isn't just the opinion of a casual fan, but it is the view of one of the Prancing Horse's icons regarding the Maranello team's current negative phase. On the occasion of his birthday, and the 30th anniversary of his first and only race victory, right in Montreal, where the 10th round of the 2025 Formula One Championship takes place this weekend at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, the French driver spoke out plainly, expressing his doubts without sugarcoating things. The former Ferrari driver experienced firsthand the years of technical inferiority and the gradual return to competitiveness that began with Jean Todt's arrival. Many more seasons passed before the Maranello team finally won the world title with Michael Schumacher. Back in Jean Todt's era, Ferrari lagged significantly behind technologically compared to Williams, McLaren, and the ambitious Benetton team. At the time, the technological infrastructure was not up to the standard required to compete at the highest level. Although today the historic team has nothing to envy from its rivals, it is clear that access to the best technology is no guarantee of success. After all, Red Bull has built two dominant eras in Formula One using a post-war wind tunnel. Fortunately, the quality and creativity of the engineers still make the difference. So, in a recent interview, Jean Alesi shared his perspective on the current issues at the Maranello team, which, according to him, really have nothing to do with the drivers. In particular, Jean Alesi praised Charles Leclerc, whom he considers the strongest driver on the grid, and he actually sees a reflection of his own temperament and his bad luck in Charles Leclerc. The driver of Sicilian descent then offered a very interesting insight. According to Jean Alesi, Fred Vasseur has far less power than Jean Todt did. He made this point while offering his personal view on Ferrari's current difficulties. And according to the former Ferrari driver, the team's problems are not the result of the team principal's decisions, but instead, they stem from certain individuals within the team who want to be in charge, even though they lack the competence to do so. It is a perfectly respectable opinion, but one that raises questions. Fred Vasseur has reorganized the team extensively and has repeatedly stated that he recruited several engineers from rival teams. The complete absence of the Italian company's top management, even in strategic meetings like the one broadcast during the Bahrain Grand Prix, suggests quite the opposite. If the Ferrari team principal is attending meetings where the future of F1 is decided in place of the president and chief executive officer, then there are only two possible scenarios. Either Fred Vasseur is a compliant lightning rod, or he has been granted broad powers. So far, the head of the Ferrari racing division has shown no signs of friction with top management. On the contrary, he remains consistently unflappable, despite the season increasingly taking the shape of a dramatic failure. What Jean Alesi said in the family newspaper of the Exor Group is open to various interpretations. These are undoubtedly rather awkward and perhaps even baseless statements, ones that could easily backfire. It could be a subliminal alarm signal aimed at the presidency, voiced by someone who knows the age-old dynamics of the Ferrari racing division very well. Or perhaps it's a gesture of solidarity with Fred Vasseur, whose position is beginning to look shaky. What remains to be seen is the final judgment at the end of the season for the Frenchman who, for now, despite a hugely disappointing year, still appears to have faith in the 2026 campaign. And maybe that will be his last real opportunity, where another failure could cost him the job. Now a crucial weekend awaits Ferrari. While Formula One heads to Canada for the 10th round of the season, the World Endurance Championship will host its most iconic race, the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Since returning to the top category of closed-wheel racing, the Prancing Horse has surprisingly won the last two editions at the legendary Circuit de la Sarthe, an achievement that clearly deserves praise, and comparison is still necessary. The 2023 victory was also helped by a favorable balance of performance, which allowed the 499P to benefit from reduced weight compared to Toyota and an energy advantage per stint, more specifically 901 Megajoule in 2023. Ferrari's endurance program, now in its third season, had a stunning start. The first three races of 2025, namely Qatar, Imola, and Spa-Francorchamps, were dominated by the AF Corse team. Such dominance, by regulation, will lead to a stricter balance of performance precisely for the most anticipated race of the season. Like it or not, those are the rules, and naturally all competitors accepted them, benefiting or losing out depending on the moment and their campaigns. Within this scenario, though, a fundamental point must be clarified. Placing an FIA World Endurance Championship prototype and a Formula One car on the same level is a conceptual mistake. Formula One cars remain the absolute pinnacle of motorsport in terms of investment, technology, and engineering complexity. The aim of this comparison is thus to spark reflection on the ability to lead a technical sporting project to success, not on technical differences per se. Ferrari is going through a season of waiting and uncertainty. The 2025 Formula One season has just entered its central phase, but the Italian team is already practically out of the title fight. In previous years, the Maranello squad used to freeze development to focus resources on the following season. Now, however, doubts remain about the real objective of Fred Vasseur's team, assuming there still is a concrete one. Updates to the SF25 single-seater keep getting delayed, as if the championship had no end. The real issue is the lack of transparent communication, which risks creating illusions among fans constantly awaiting new parts and miracle upgrades. To be clear, no updates are expected for the car in Montreal, neither for Charles Leclerc nor for Lewis Hamilton. The Maranello team will continue to get the most out of the current package, seeking the best compromise in order to mask the structural shortcomings of Project 677 without significantly compromising performance each race weekend. Starting from the Austrian Grand Prix, the Ferrari engineers and technicians will try to introduce a new floor, which should be a prerequisite for further aerodynamic updates. The Maranello team hopes to at least partially close the gap with the McLaren MCL 39 cars before the summer break. By curious coincidence, the figure of Antonello Coletta, born in Rome in 1967 and currently head of Ferrari's GT racing activities, has gained prominence precisely in the months following Fred Vasseur's arrival at the helm of the F1 racing division. Formula One and the World Endurance Championship are radically different projects, but for both, 2023 marked a clear new beginning. In endurance racing, growth has been steady, fast, and without setbacks. In Formula One, however, Fred Vasseur's approach, which initially seemed very promising, has experienced a sharp slowdown at the start of this season, a development that has clearly surprised and disappointed many. After 2 years of internal reorganization, this Ferrari team is now a direct expression of the French manager's vision. During shareholder meetings, Ferrari's World Endurance Championship success is proudly cited as a highlight of the company's sporting efforts, while both Chief Executive Officer Benedetto Vigna and Chairman John Elkann maintain a diplomatic tone when commenting on the Formula One results. Should Ferrari win again at the 24 Hours of Le Mans this coming Sunday, it is reasonable to imagine that Antonello Coletta's shadow of success could strongly eclipse those in Formula One who continue to chase their rivals for so many years.